Okay, hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Slightly different setting this time. Better, definitely warmer than Innes's garage.
Welcome to my home, guys.
Yeah, we're in Don's house today. We're doing a 40k battle report for you as per usual. Chaos Alpha Legion
Alpha Legion, yeah.
versus Salamanders. So, sorry for the third game in a row with Salamanders. We've got a tournament next weekend. In fact, this point will be in our second round probably.
Yeah, we would, yeah.
So I need to practice, and this would have been that job.
This would have been my list, but we've been having some team trouble with coronavirus lockdowns, players being in foreign lands and having to recruit other players and sorting this out.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I told this person of interest to get back 2 weeks before just in case.
We had a lovely team list, we had it all set out, and then Corona's done stuff, people are travel, lockdown, all that. So it's like, right, cool, you can have a list, you can have this one, or you're this one, okay, you're on this faction, okay, I'll swap factions. It's just mental, so. I don't get to play Alpha Legion this time, I get to go Raven Guard this time for the event, so what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to let you guys see the Alpha Legion that I was going to take and hopefully give Chris a bloody good game of this.
Yeah, hopefully kick my ass, because, you know, Salamanders is surprisingly a deep strike army with all the reserve stuff that they can do now, and Alpha Legion just goes, you're doing what?
You're what? Oh,
yeah.
Are you 12 away? Great, cool, shoot you.
11-inch flamer, no problem. oh wait, you can actually come inside? I'm just going to shoot you then
so
anyway.
12 away, yeah, great, cool. 8 with 18 as well, shh, happy days.
Yeah, having 19 inches away from you to be entirely safe from all your counterplay, which really hurts my flamers.
Indeed.
Anyway, how are you finding Chaos in Night Dead? We're what, 2 months into Night Dead?
We're a couple of months into this edition, and I'm finding at least the way I'm playing my little army quite a lot of fun. It does have quite a lot of shit, which is not normal for me, as Chris will tell you. I'm more of an aggressive player.
He likes his corn boxes. Let's just leave it at that.
Nothing like the old party bus, you know. But yeah, I'm finding being able to shoot, double tap, with the smaller boards as well, being able to get a bit closer. I'm finding Helldrake's a lot of fun, just getting in your grill easy. That's the aggressive part. But overall, I think once we get the update with the Spaceman book that's coming out, that's giving everybody else the extra wind, that Chaos Space Marines Bare Bones Codex will get a lot better. I don't mind paying an extra few points just for having that army with 2 wounds apiece.
Yeah, 2 wound Havocs.
Yeah, 2 wound Havocs, which is what they should have had from the start for being a smaller unit in toughness 5. You know, having, from you guys that play Intercessors and Space Marines, you know that having 2 wound, 3 up saves in 5-man squads in terrain that then get the cover save is harder to shift than
they are very hard to shift
than having the 5-man guys that are just
But the risk that we do run, and what will likely happen from my point of view, is that we'll see a lot more damage to weaponry,
which we are seeing happening with the heavy bolters.
Yeah, with heavy bolters, auto cannons is a good one.
Yeah.
Good strength, good decent AP if you're in the
just little shots, but yeah.
But yeah, like the meta will shift with the Space Marine drop, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, I've got a theory for Salamanders which would be what sounds more fun than 3 units of 1-man attack bike squads with multi-melters with their 2 shots. Basically, I'm just gonna pay I'm gonna pay 100 and change points for another Eradicator squad with 3 times the rerolls because it's 3 units.
I'm looking forward to having my chosen out of the dusty box with their combi plasmas or combi meltas, and because they're great little units. They can have a shooting weapon and a combat weapon of your choice, and you can just annihilate a squad with 6 little dudes.
Yeah, it's brutal.
I'm looking forward to that. So by the way, guys, I'm John. How you doing? You probably heard me before on the channel before, but on when we were playing TTS.
Eldar versus...
That was your Elder Wraithguard versus when the demons were just getting their second awakening. That was me. Again, welcome home. And so for today, our armies are the Alpha Legion, which is myself.
Yep. So do you want to run through that?
So we'll run through this. So quickly, I have a Terminator Lord. He's Mark Corn. He's got the Shade Blade. So he's -1 hit always, even though he's Alpha Legion. I know it's capped at -1, but still it helps.
Helps when I can get a +1 or something.
Yeah,
like that.
it's like a damage D3, -2, +1 strength. He's got Headhunter to go with his Combi Plasma, I believe. He's got Combi Plasma. That means he can ignore lookout search for characters, which can be handy in certain situations.
Yep.
Especially if you're playing an army that has a ton of characters, like say Guard or say G Cult or something.
Yep.
Picking off those vital characters are handy as hell. We have the Dark Apostle and his two little mates. They again are Mark Corn because why not? You get the really good Corn power as well. He is rocking the Warpsighted Plea, which is +1 hit. Fair enough. We've got our Sorcerer, who is Marcus Each. He has Combi Plasma, because pew pew. He has +1 to hit power prescience. He also has Death X for getting rid of those nasty invuns that we don't like. He's also got a jump pack, so he can just get where he needs to be, keep up with the guys that are running forward. He's got a staff, because that's what I've got in model. We also then have in our troop section 4 5-man Chaos Space Marine squads. Bare bones, the sergeant's only upgrade is a chain axe. We then have 2 halberds with Mark Corn, with power scourges and the Hellbrew plasma cannon, because there's a funny little interaction there where if he takes a wound and he survives to the end of the phase, on a 6+, he might go a bit crazy and shoot again.
Double tapping.
And because it's a blast weapon, and if you're fighting, again, units of 6 or more, that's auto straight 3 shots. You want that.
Good for 6-man aggressors.
Good for the 6-man aggressors, and it's always overheated, so it's always 2 damage, always at strength 8. I've then got my 5-man Terminators. They are rocking with the Combi Plasma, despite what's modeled on the models, because I really like Combi Meltas and wait till the updates. So it's Combi Plasmas and Chain Fists on 5 guys with Marcus Nesh, and for that double tap, as much as I want to go Corn for the banner of Charge In. I then have a unit of Chain Cannon Havocs. We all know what they do. Daka daka daka.
They shred.
They shred. You guys, the Space Marines, you're about to get this with your onslaught cannons. You guys are going to love it. It's the 8-shot gun, strength 5, -1, range 24 and 1 damage. And I'm rocking 4 of them in the squad with just a combi bolter on the sergeant, and you're looking at about 6 shots with 4 guys. Double tapping is 70 something shots from one unit. We've then got another unit of Havocs, my trusty unit of Havocs with las cannons, who so far every time I've played against my mate Gabriel, hi Gabriel, has managed to nail one of his most precious Lehman Russes that he's left on the board, and it's just gone boom boom boom. Or I've faced Necrons and managed to kill off the Doom Scythe from the triple triad Doom Scythe there to stop that from happening. The stratagem allows you to drop a mortal wound bomb.
Was that against Gavin by any chance?
No, that was against Burnsy. Hi Burnsy.
Oh yeah.
And then we also have sadly they're really expensive now at $315, but it's the 3 Obliterators with the Marcus Ness, because why not? Again, that's a lot of high strength, potential to be high AP, potential to be a lot of damage.
Pure casino 40k.
Yeah, like roll those dice. And then my 2 favourite units I have in my army, might not be the best ones, but they're great at killing Primaris, is the 2 Helldrakes with Bale Flamers, because Bale Flamers are 2 shots and they don't care about hitting with them, and they're the exact same points as a Heavy Cannon. They move fast, they can grab objectives because they're not aircraft, happy days, and they like to tangle with things with fly, or can happily take out small elite units, like say Outriders, or your 5-man squads are sitting on terrain, on the objectives, and just harass there. And if they are stuck in combat, they can shoot into combat.
Yep.
That's my list, guys.
Because they're a monster, right?
Because they are monsters.
Can they be charged by ground units?
They are, because they are not aircraft. They are just, like the Tyranids themselves, it is just a big flying monster that is just stuck in the flyer battlefield world. That's all it is.
It should really be fast attack, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it's just a super fast attack unit.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's happened used to me because I have 0 flag minus. As you all know, I am a true slogging up the battlefield type list. So I went through my Salamanders. You've seen it before, but real quick. The Unkillable Smash Captain. He's got Forge Master to be T7. He's got Never Give Up to be to make a unit within 6 inches obsec for the battle round. He also reminds someone to wound at all times because of his relic that I had to pay because I'm a Salamander successor. I should just go through that as well. Long Range Marksman and Master Artisan, so the standard combination. I've then got a Librarian and Terminator armor. He's rocking Drake skin and Fire Shield. So that is 18-inch range for Fire Shield, -1 to be hit with ranged weapons and -1 to be charged. So good for when I don't know, a Hellbrute comes in from Secret Reserves and charges me.
Hey, they're good for sitting on objectives and going, come at me, bro.
Or a Terminator unit, deep striking in and charging me.
Indeed.
You know, well, also if you come in within, then you get flamered.
Yeah.
Then my last HQ is the Lieutenant from the Indominus box set. He's got a Warlord trait as well. He's got Lord of Fire, which lets me reroll my flamer number of shots. Super handy because it means I can spend like 2 CP later, save 2 CP later on in the game, so I don't have to have maximum number of shots.
Yeah.
So just reroll the 1, 2s and 3s, and you're going to get like within 10 or 20 of the maximum number of shots, and that's decent enough if you're double tapping as well. He's also got the Obsidian Aquila, which is a 6-up aura of 6-up Feel No Pain. That's his relic. Then going into my troops, I've got 2 units of 5 Incursors and 1 unit of 10 Infiltrators. And I've also got a unit of 5 Scouts. They're all bare bones. The Scout Sergeant has a combat knife because why wouldn't he? He likes his knives, okay? I mean, we don't shame here. Then into my elite slots, we have 1 unit of 3 Flamestorm Aggressors. The Sergeant has been given a relic through Master Artisans, so he's got a Master Crafted Flamestorm Gauntlet shooting profile, so a damage 2 flamer. Sounds fun. Good for roasting Terminators, right, John?
Just a little bit, yeah.
I mean, you have a 3-up save, but you know it'll be a lot of shots.
As we know, that AP1 it can be crucial to get
It really can.
that damage sneaking under the saves.
Yeah, he picked up yesterday. I played against another guy from our local scene, Ross. He picked up the stealth suit, not the wee one, the big one.
The Ghost Kill.
The Ghost Kill from the Tower Empire, pretty much by himself. Just because he did like 1 wound short of what I needed there.
Yeah.
And then his skull movement, I'll help you go. Then I've got a unit of 6 Flamestorm Aggressors, they're just stock. And then I've got 2 units of Blade Guard Veterans, a unit of Outriders in the fast attack slot, and then I've got a Grav Devastator squad with a Cherub, nothing fancy on the Sergeant, and 2 units of Eradicators, and then I also got a drop pod because if you're going to be bringing a Grav squad, you bring a drop pod for them.
What is this, 7 Ed?
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much.
Hey guys, Grav's not dead apparently. You know, Innes, I'm sorry, you're going to have to shred that t-shirt, mate.
Well, I have a strong suspicion that Grav Amp stratagem is either going to go to 2 CP or going to be removed from the new
No,
codex.
it's probably going to go to 2 CP just to make sure that people who have bought Grav in the past can still use it.
GW don't care about that because then they just sell something else.
Yeah, but how else are you going to sell Devastator squads then?
Nautic guns, multi-nautas, two-shot multi-nautas.
Heavy bolters.
Heavy bolters are also good. Well, I mean, if they could give Devastator squads to be in line with Havoc's, ignoring heavy.
So drop from 10 man to 5 man and make them toughness 5 and be able to move in 5.
You never run 10 man anyway in compared to 40k. Like once you put up once you put up your 4 heavy weapons options.
I will say this for Havoc's between the old ones and the new ones. Sometimes I miss having a squad that can run like a 4 meltas and a combi melta for cheaper than a chosen squad in a Rhino.
Yeah.
But now I've got all these great fancy guns and I can move and fire out apparently. I'm fine where I am.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we'll leave the introduction there because we have gone on quite a bit. But you know, John and I are both talkers, and we hope you've enjoyed this trial of a coffee intro, shall we say?
Coffee Master.
Yeah. So we'll show you the battlefield in a second, and we'll go through our secondaries and go through the mission with you, and then we'll get into deployment. Okay, everyone, welcome to the board. So I do apologise for the lack of Matt today. I was going to borrow from Innes, get his Matt, but he was still playing 40k when I left himself yesterday after some games. So
my one's too big and I don't have duct tape for it.
Yeah, so we're just doing on some wood, but I have got a mat coming at the end of the month from GameMat.eu, not sponsored. Appreciate Pregame match. Hi. So something to know is we do have some lovely new objective markers done by Nori Custom Designs. There'll be a link down in the description and there should be a logo on screen. Just to support some local business here in Fife and Tayside. She's done some amazing markers for us, which you'll be seeing in the channel.
She also did some stuff, lovely stuff for the local War Games Club as well.
Yep.
So
she does t-shirts, she does dice bags, she's getting dice trays started up, so if you need any stuff, go to the link in the description down below and please go and visit her and give her some support.
you guys may have seen the infamous t-shirt that we have for Innes and the crew, which is the Innes Wilson's crew of Whack Dundee Bastards.
Mad Whack Dundee Bastards, you know.
Okay, with the rules of how to play 40k on the back.
Yeah, we'll get I'll find a picture and put it in the description.
It's fine, I can pop one.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all done by Nori Custom Designs, and yeah, thank you very much to Fiona for making these up in amazingly fast time. It took us about 10 days to get custom markers made up.
Yeah, like when we did it for our lot for the club, it was super fast as well.
Yeah.
And it was good price for the mats and stuff.
But anyway, we will take you to the battlefield. So we're doing mission 33. This is our final round of the mission for the tournament. So it's round 5. It's the one where you move objective markers. That's why we're kind of all over the shop as it was with the markers. John won the roll and chose to drop first, which meant I moved the first one. He picked this side of the board, so I moved that one away from him because I'm nice like that.
Love you too, man. Love you too.
And then John shuffled a 2 in the centre, and I moved this one back into this building here, where one model can hold. Once I get in frame, one model can hold it just there and be out of the obscuring terrain. So happy days. So yeah, so this is the board and the deployment zone, as you can see, marked up by dice. And we will come back to you with our deployment. So we'll come back to you with that. Oh, secondaries. Sorry, secondaries. They are
those.
They are a thing. So our secondaries. So John, you've taken engage in all fronts, raise banners, and priority targets.
Indeed.
I have taken semi-fight because salamanders, they don't die.
Funny,
targets.
like, you'd think that'd be an Iron Hands thing, but no, it's a Sally's thing.
And engage in all fronts. My priority objective is this one, is number 5. John, what is your one? Oh, he's gone. John, what is your priority objective?
Back. Right, priority, I have to choose one in my zone and yours, do I?
And just your half, yeah.
Alright, cool. I will choose priority number 3 then.
So, this is John's one. This is my one. We're going to be standing here all game, and we're going to get 50 points.
Probably get some.
Gentleman's agreement, yeah?
Yeah. We're actually going to stand there for 5 turns, not touch the units on there, and we'll both get max points for it.
Yeah, this is a gentleman's war game. So we will come back to you with our deployment. Okay, everyone, this is the t-shirt that we were referring to. Innes Wilson, so you've seen the channel, started winning 40k. Pause here if you want to know how to win the game, and John now can turn around and explain his deployment.
Right, guys, so as you can see, it's the Innes Wilson's macro Whack Dundee Bastards. Cool. So our deployment here is trying to push forward a little bit here with our Heldrakes to maybe counter over there with Chris's infiltrators and the big old death squad that's in that hiding like pussies in the building there. We have also spent CP for a second warlord trait on the sorcerer here.
Yeah.
It's the once per battle reroll a failed psychic test, and any time I successfully cast psychic power on a 6+ gain a CP back.
Yep.
I've also spent 2 forward operative points on the obliterators here and the chain cannon havocs here.
Yep.
That's for anybody who doesn't know, it's move up to after deployment for first battle round starts. You move the unit up to 9 inches, but has to be 9 inches away from the enemy unit.
Yep. Let's come and see what's in this building, John.
We have our little guard dog, which is our the Hellbrute there, which is going to go forward hopefully to grab that objective there. We have our chaplain giving some backup to the chain cannons there and to maybe the Chaos Spaceman squad, giving them a +1 a hit. We have our Heldrakes here to push forward. We have a beautiful line of sight down the fire lane there with the las cannons. Yeah. And we have the other Hellbrute there doing guard duty on that objective there.
Yeah,
so hopefully if he doesn't...
In reserve?
In reserve we have our Terminators here with their combi plasmas and chainfists with the Lord as well to give them a little bit of help later on.
Yeah. So we'll let John do his former moves and whilst we're talking, we can show you what's happening with those.
We need to find out who goes first though. So that's how that happens.
Okay, so we'll roll off that, and now I'll talk to my deployment. So we'll just roll in the middle over in this gap here.
4.
6.
So you go first then, and then
I can choose. I can choose to go if I go first or second.
Well, how many times are you going first with this army first? And how many times are you going second with it? And then that can be a good practice.
It's about equal. I'm just thinking what I can accomplish if I go first. I think I could put... So just talk to my deployment slightly. I've got a castle in here. Try and focus the camera. There we go. My captain, my lieutenant, and my librarian. The 6-man unit of aggressors. Both Bay Guard. 1 unit of eradicators. A unit of incursors, and the non-sergeant unit of infiltrators, because I combat squad them at the start of the game. I could put the eradicators out here to snipe the Hellbrute or the Obliterators, to force John to use his pregame move to go backwards, out line of sight, because I made sure that these guys were in 5 inches of getting a line of sight from this angle here, and if not, I can always advance them. We have a unit of scouts here holding this objective for the entire game. Unit of Outriders, unit of Incursors, and a unit of Infiltrators over here. And in reserve, I have got the Drop Pod, the Grav Devs, 1 unit of Eradicators, and the 3-man unit of Aggressors. So what we'll do is I'll have a thing off camera, and we'll come back to you with my choice of going first or second, and John's pre-game move. Okay, everyone. After much umming and ahhing, I have chosen to go first because when you double check the measurement, I can snipe that Hellbrute whilst remaining safe from things like the Las Havocs and the Obliterators without them moving quite far. And I'm happy for John to move out into the open with Obliterators, something like that, because I can then shoot at them next turn with Flamers or something.
Indeed.
So I made the choice to go first. John, talk about your pre-game moves then.
So as we know that Chris was going to go first then, after we discussed it, and he's probably going to target the Hellbrute there, or he was also wanting to maybe target the Blitz if he had the range for it. I decided to move it behind this line of sight blocking piece of terrain, and hopefully get away from if the Hellbrute does die and explode. The Chain Havocs that were over here just moved over to the right there, in behind the piece of terrain, as it has no windows, so it's a line of sight blocking piece of terrain. And in case any shenanigans happens there where the enemy might get a piece of line of sight, even though there are pieces of terrain there, I just want to make sure they are okay.
Yeah, that's what I do want to mention. The way we're playing it is if you're under the floor of a building, and we've seen this quite a lot, this is what we at the tournament we're going to do. So if you're directly under the floor of a building with the model, you are in the obscuring terrain, you can see through it and be seen through it. If not, you just get light cover. And because we don't have bases in these, and this is what you find quite common, is we're just imagining there is a rectangular base underneath. As what you would typically find.
It's like corner to corner stuff.
Yeah.
And underneath the footprint of the thing.
Yeah. So it's just gentleman's agreement. Figure out what it is. So
like the little piece of terrain you can easily do corner to corner on there or there or there. Because that's easy enough, but these big L's, it's best to use the footprint of the floors itself.
Yeah.
And then square off from there.
Yeah. So we'll come back to you with my terminal movement. Okay, everyone, welcome back to the end of the movement and psychic phase. So you can see here, I have just shuffled around. The Eradicators have got line of sight to this Hellbrute over here. The Drop Pod came in at the end of the turn. These guys got a 5-inch advance to get onto that objective. I've just shuffled slightly with these guys to get onto the objective over here. Scouts have stayed still, and this unit of Infiltrators have just spread out to spread that 12-inch no-go zone even further. And the Sergeant is having a bit of a wobbled model syndrome, so he's placed on top, which gets him in range to reroll once with the Captain, and spent a CP at the end of the movement phase to make the compass not moving, which is amazing. Hitting on 3s again. Although hitting on 4s because of
Affliction.
Oh, actually, in that case, I may not even use it then, because I forgot that because it's caps at -1 anyway.
Yes.
So there, and only shooting one wound guys anyway. So I'll regen that CP and not use that as stratagem then, because there's no point using it against Alpha Legion because Alpha Legion.
Yes.
And yeah, John didn't use any of his stratagems to deny me putting the drop pod where he is.
Because where you're putting that drop pod, it would be out of range for scrambled coordinates, which is a Alpha Legion stratagem that says if an enemy unit comes in as part of reinforcements, but before they're deployed, you then pick that unit and say this unit cannot go within 12 inches of a Alpha Legion army.
Which is super useful.
And then the other one is similar to Auspex Scan for Space Marines, except my one is 18 inches, and it can be anything like that. But because Chris was savvy enough and knows how to play against the Alpha Legion, he put him over there, out of the range of everything there. And because it only affects the transport and not the units, I can't target the devastator.
And my range is so long anyway.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Use your range.
I was trying to bait John to spend a couple of CP there.
No.
The other thing is, in the psychic phase, I tried to make this unit who's out in the open toughness 5, just to make the chain havoc drop it slightly harder. Because of running on 4s rather than on 3s.
Indeed.
And but that failed.
Yes.
Then the Libby cast is fire shield on the unit on grabs or in cover, so the -1 to hit, and they have 2 armor save, so might survive 1 or 2 maybe.
Indeed.
Oh, speaking of stuff, did you do your power? Your Captain Dark What's the power? Do you want to do that now on camera?
I will go with. It's too far away now. So what I'll do is reroll hits in combat.
All right. Do you want to roll over here where the camera is?
2+, wherever my dice is. Let's go with Okanda the dice. Hey Gabriel, this is one of your favourite dice, mate.
It goes off on a 4.
It goes off on a 4. So everybody within 6 inches of him in the combat phase will get to reroll all their missed hits.
Happy days. So we'll come back to you with the result of the shooting phase. Okay, everyone, welcome back to the end of the Salamander's turn. No charges to speak of, just some shooting. So you can see there is now absent a unit of Las Cannon Havocs and absent a Hellbrute. The Grab Devs shot away the Las Cannons, got really good hit roll, we're heading on the 4s, and they popped the Cherub just to ensure that the Hellbrute would die, because I wanted that dead before he turns his plasma cannon onto my pure eradicators.
Don't worry, I'll get rid of them.
Oh, I'm sure you will. But that's it for round 1. So I get engage on 3 fronts for 2 points, and I get power to target because my scout is over in that back corner for 3 points, and that's all I get because it's round 1. So I'll hand over to John, and we'll come back to you with the end of Alpha Legion movement and psychic phases.
Right guys, so that's my turn 1 movement and psychic phase done. What we did for movement is I shuffled a bit back here because I know Chris from Turn Onwards will be able to bring in the aggressors and limiters that he's got to come in from outflank or deep strike. I have shuffled the obliterators round, and we were thinking that it's probably best to go after that drop out in combat and shoot a different unit.
Yeah.
The sorcerer, sorcerer here, as we're down on this side here, he swapped his smite power out for wartime because it's probably a bit more useful at the moment. So
most likely, yeah.
So his powers are now wartime, death, hex, and prescience. He failed prescience even with a free reroll from his warlord trait, but he managed to cast off wartime when they blitz, so the blitz are there. We have the chain cannons have moved out from cover there to then shoot into the piece of terrain that's across from them. The Helldrakes have moved forward to deal with the infiltrator and cursory dudes. The idea here will be the Bale Flamers will go after the Devastators that are down here because it's strength D6 shots, auto hits, it's strength 6, it's -2 and 2 damage each, which is great because that could be a lot of shots. It also could be a not. If the unit of incursors, infiltrators survive after the players shoot them, then the birdies will go after them. Over there with the Hellbrute, he's just moved out and is in line of sight with the other squad of infiltrator and incursor unit. Yeah,
I'll come on this way.
So as I can draw a bead of line of sight, I can shoot there, and that just hopefully does enough damage to kick him off there. So the plan now is to...
One thing I will point out is that this way I put the drop pod in is why I did it. I knew it was a charge risk. These Blitters can't see my army, and in order to see the army they'd have to come up on top of here, which means they're not going to get covered and they're in range and line of sight of a lot of very dangerous units, especially when I bring in more Eradicators in the following turn.
I'd rather do that on my turn.
Yeah.
While I'm closer.
Yeah.
So the plan is, again, 2 Helldrakes to the Devastators here, this to fight here, chain cannons to shoot into here. I can see a Blade Guard or something down here. Hellbrute to there, and we'll see what happens after that.
Yep, so we'll come back to you with the result of that and see if the dice gods agree with John.
Hopefully. Okay, guys, so it was my turn's combat and shooting and stuff. So
The Blitz took out the 5-man squads there. That was in front of the Heldricks. The Heldricks picked on the 2 Devastators there, as you might have seen the roll there. As our wee house rule, if you're they should on the field, you might as well roll 2 dice and choose the lowest result.
Yeah, it just
speeds up the game. The Havocs with chain cannons shot twice and took out 1.5 blade guard that's in the building. It's probably the best way to do it because they're quite hard. The Hellbrute that's left, he shot his Hellbrute plasma cannon. He took up Winston himself and he knocked off one of the guys.
No,
didn't do anything there
because they're in cover, John.
Indeed,
so you're -3, 5 up save. I go to 5 up.
Sadly, did not go nuts.
Because he took 2 damage for his ruffles.
2 damage, but every time he takes wounds and he survives the end of the phase, again, he will possibly go crazy and shoot again, or if he's in combat, he fights again. But the Blitz, they went in, tagged up the drop pods so they can't be shot, and didn't do anything to it, but that's what the plan is.
Yep.
I have a couple of raised banners on number 2 and number 3, so hopefully that'll give me some points, and Chris doesn't really come that close, so I should be getting points for that. I got a couple of points from engaged oral fronts and a couple for having priority objective.
Yep.
So we're about to go on to Chris's turn 2.
Yep. So first of all, start the battle round. My captain is going to make the he'll make the 2-man unit of Blade Guard OBSEC in the building.
Yep.
And I go to tactical doctrine.
Yep.
And you do your prayer. What are you praying for?
So for a unit within 6 inches, I will give the Havocs +1 to hit, but because his little guys are back here to try and block off any outflankers, I will then need to be on a 3+. He gets it. So Warp City play is now upon the unit of Chain Havocs.
They're seeing better.
Indeed.
So we come back to you with result of movement and psychic phase for Salamanders in turn 2. Okay everyone, welcome to the end of the Salamander movement and psychic phase. So in the movement phase, I shuffled these guys out. I actually advanced them. I'm taking -1 to hit anyway, so I just advance them. Because they can still shoot, it makes no difference to how they're going to hit. And they can target one of John's Marine squads that are holding this to take him off of the primary.
Yo.
The Outriders just moved over normally, and then they can take some shots down the field at his Havocs. I shuffle these guys inside the building so that 4 of them can see through the obscuring terrain at the Havocs. I pop my Eradicators out. They are 6 inches away from the edge, and they are in the terrain, which means they can shoot that help route. Kept these guys still because they're doing their job blocking off that area. These scouts stay still, they're doing their job getting me points and blocking off that area. And then in here, I know it's a bit dark, but I've got 2, so I've got up front a unit of 3 and a unit of 2, Blade Guard, and 5 infiltrators just protecting the characters because John can bring down his Snipey Terminator Lord next turn. And the drop pod is drop podding in the drop pod zone.
Yeah.
So, we'll come back to you with the result of the shooting phase. Okay everyone, so welcome back to the end of the turn. You notice there's a lot less models on the board for John's army, I'm afraid. Because of these aggressors here, they picked up both our turkeys, rolling 56 and 57 shots for each of them. After John failed the first volley of the first round of dice from the first one, we just said pick up the model. It's a weight of dice, 4 up save isn't enough.
More than worth it.
But that's what, as you say, that's what they may do. They're there to take up the wounds.
They either go harass down the flank, or if it's like this, it's just to get in front, take the damage so that the units behind might be able to be concealed, especially if it's an important unit, like I was thinking about the Chain Cannon Havocs, but I forgot about the Outriders who were sitting so far away. But then the Outriders came down and shot the Havocs. But if the Havocs were having the Primaris factor, which they're going to get soon, then I would have had enough left to be able to shoot backwards. But oh well, that's happening. Yeah. So the Outriders picked up a bit of the Havocs. I put the squad of Scout Marines there, the Incursors, there to just pick them up just in case. The Eradicators picked up that Dreadnought from the first volley. These Eradicators didn't actually do anything. They grabbed it because John concealed that unit of Space Marines over there. And I can't shoot things in combat. I can't fall back the drop, but I wasn't going to spend 2 CP to try and fall back and die on a roll of a 1. 2 CP wasn't enough. The thing is though, the drop pod doesn't have a movement, so
yeah. So I had to roll a 1.
Yeah.
With the Desperate Breakout stratagem. But the Grab Devs, heroes of the Imperium, picked up a whole squad of Space Marines by themselves.
Yeah, they did.
hitting on 4s as well.
For two
capture
wee
roll.
guys, they managed to pick off 5 of my guys. Did
Beautiful.
about 7 wins, and I only saved 1 of them. So yeah.
So yeah, that's it. That is the turn.
It's on to my Dark Apostle now, because it's what I like to do is hopefully when you're up here is we move on to where the new Dominus Chaplain is. That is going to be in the command phase. So does he get to reroll his all hits? He does. So when he's in combat, he will reroll all his missed hits. That's all.
I thought he'd already done his prayer gun.
No, that was. Oh yeah, that happened. So you got +1 on there. So yeah.
So yeah, sorry about that, John. But yeah.
No.
I mean, he would go and he could still probably murder that squad of incursions in the building.
G-Dubs, please give us like you have for Chaplain's Master Sanctity, where we do it for our Dark Apostles.
Well, anyway, we'll come back with the result of John's turn.
Right, guys, welcome back to this. It's my turn, my second turn's movement. As you can see, the Obliterators there have disengaged from that drop pod thanks to Feign Retreat. I can leave combat and still have the ability to shoot.
Yeah.
So the plan there is to take on the Eliminators and Aggressors. I have 2 points. I have 2 CP left to be able to shoot twice, because I had to reroll one of my second powers, which was Prescience there, to make it so it was successful. So the Blitz have +1 to hits, which is nice for to hit there. The other squads have just moved around, make sure they're at line of sight or are capturing objectives. The Chaplain's moved out of line of sight to be able to maybe countercharge something. The Terminators have came in, out 12 inches away from both the Infiltrator squads and from the bikes there. So they're
just for Auschwitz scan.
Just for Auschwitz scan, and so that they can shoot the bikes with their plasma, happily overcharge them because of the Chaos Lord there, so they'll reroll ones and do a lot of damage.
Yep. So that's the tail of the tape, and we'll see if once again if the dice gods agree with John.
We'll see what happens. Right guys, that's me done my movement, shooting, psychics, all that jazz. There is no combats because I didn't get in range of any combats there. When it came to the Plasma Terminators and the Lord there, they took out the Outriders that was on the objective
Quite
there.
easily, yeah.
That's nice because that stops the manoeuvrability of those guns and the combat there down one of my flanks, which is one of my weaker flanks. With the Obliterators, they decided to try and take out at least take a pop shot at the Aggressors that are in the front there with the flame gauntlets. Chris did the Transhuman Physiology there to make sure I went on 4s, and I only managed to do a 1 and a bit damage there to take out one of them. And then because he did that, I shot them, used my last 2 CP to shoot again to take on the Eradicators, Eliminators, the metal guys, new boys.
Eradicators.
That's the ones, and I managed to do 1 there.
Yeah, you just got unlucky on your damage rolls.
Because when I was rolling, I got this result right here. For pretty much both of them. I got +2 to my strength on both rolls.
Yeah.
I got AP of 2 on both rolls, and I got damage on both rolls.
That's the really nice thing about toughness 5 base Marines is that unless you're strength 10, which is very high, you're not going to be getting wounding on 2s.
Yeah. Makes me wish I had another detachment with mass possession in it with some cultists.
Yeah.
But well, so I'm not using this army again, so this is last year rat for it.
Well, you may bring it back for a different tournament.
A different turn, but when I do, it'll be with Forge World.
Yes, because in Scotland we're ruling that Forge World will be allowed after this event because of the WTC changes.
Yes.
So we'll come back to you with the turns. Oh, start battle round because it's now turn 3.
Right. So
I'll do my never give up. I'm going to make the unit of 3 Blade Guard in this building, opposite.
Yep. I will give my Chaplain his reroll to hit bubble. He doesn't get it because he's not within range of the 2 wee guys there.
Unlucky, John.
Oh, well.
And I'm going to stay in the tactical doctrine because I am tactical.
Funny that.
Yeah, it's almost like I'm Salamanders. So we'll come back to you with the result of movement psychic phase in round 3 for the Salamanders. Okay everyone, welcome back to the end of Salamanders turn 3 movement and psychic phases. So as you can see, I've come out of my castle, apart from the Libby who's staying safe as houses back there because he is the most vulnerable character in my army, and he's also worth 5 points to John. The aggressors advanced forward because I paid the CP at the end of movement phase to make them count as standing still so they can shoot twice. So I'll take off now, which is super handy, and then they're also going to be an independent little fireball. The Eradicators in this building just shuffled forward, make sure they had range on these Terminators and these Scouts sorry, not scouts, the incursors and infiltrators over here are just going to shoot and try and remove.
They might as well be scouts.
Might as well be scouts. They're scout full boss marines. Are just trying to remove some of John's Terminators to remove his presence from this side of the board. The big guard advanced forward just to get that objective for me, and that's all to note. So we'll come back to you with the end of the shooting phase, and I'll roll my 9-inch charger on camera because that's fun. Okay everyone, welcome back to the end of the Salamander's turn. So in the shooting phase, my army started to chip away some wounds on the obliterators here that are now no longer because the flames from aggressors who advanced just said no to them. Was there a unit on here that got shot off?
There was a unit 5-man which we just went, ha, dead.
Yeah, so just from latent firepower and the eradicators, they shot them off. I was going to shoot the Stormbolter at the Acolytes over here, but then I remembered, oh, I'm a charge to them. So I didn't. Over on the other side of the table, John's Pure Terminators lost 2 of the number to the Eradicators, and the bolter fire as bit didn't do anything.
Did they run away? No.
No, thankfully. So yeah, so I'm now. So John isn't going to.
What we also did down here was that these aggressors, when they were down here, shot the 5-man unit here and took out the Dark Apostle that was there.
So that's why I paid the CP to double tap them, because the Chaos Marines were screening for that character. So I paid the double tap. I didn't pay to get the maximum number of shots because I would have overkilled by a huge margin.
A lot.
But yeah, so looking pretty good for the Salamanders now. I am engaged in 3 quarters. So happy days.
I have 3-4 units left to do with an entire army.
You got Terminators.
I do have the mighty Terminators.
Yeah.
Thank Christ they're getting +1 wind.
Yeah, so I'm just going to move this wind counter over here so it's all correct. And we will hand over to John's movement phase.
Right guys, let's see what I can do with 1 CP. We began our movement phase by moving my guys around here because I want to try and have these take on these guys, kick them off the objective there. I moved the Sorcerer over to here and try and deal with these guys as well, because right now that's the biggest threat and priority for me for over here.
Yeah.
Because I do need to keep points for the next couple of turns. I have these guys moving up this way to try and deal with this, and then hopefully the Blade Guard later on, if they do survive. And in my second phase, I use my 1 CP that I gained during my command phase to swap out the Death Hex power for Diabolic Strength, so he's a bit better in combat. Because right now there isn't really a need for Death Hex. So I managed to cast it off. I didn't get any CP back, regen from my Warlord trait for him. So, but now he has +2 strength, +1 attack, and I failed to cast Presence on him though, so sometimes there. So that would have been hitting on 2s, and it would have triggered Death to False Emperor on a 5+ there.
Yep.
Just for more attacks to deal with him, because he has +2 strength, he has +4 strength. He's at -1 and does D3 damage, which is good for killing off these 3 guys here.
Yep, so we'll resolve the turn and come back to you with all that.
Right, so welcome back. As you can see, the attempt to kick off the aggressors there kind of failed. I did take out 1. The 5-man squad I did have here was my bait unit to get the Overwatch out of the way, which they did superbly. They took it like a champ and died.
Yep.
The Sorcerer did come in. He had 5 attacks in charge. He failed at 1 to hit, then he failed a couple to wound, and only managed to deal with 1 of the aggressors.
Yeah.
Over to where the Terminators were. They shot the Blade Guard, took 1 out. Yep. And the took out the unit here. That means I now have this objective here.
Yep.
They are out width of the terrain there, so they are obscured from the aggressors that are over there, so that means they will get flamed. But they will have to take on the Blade Guard when they come in, which might be a bit hard.
Might be a bit much than once you put in the Eradicators sitting in my home base over there.
That as well. But I also have my Terminator Lord here just going, it's alright this, isn't it?
Yeah. So we'll come back to you with the end of turn 4. Summary, because we have so few units on the board for the Chaos.
This will be quick.
At the start of my turn, Captain is going to make the Aggressors Obsec, and I'm now in the Assault Doctrine because I have to be, even though I want to be in the Tactical Doctrine. So we'll come back to you with that. Okay, everyone, welcome back to the end of the game. So I'm in the movement phase. I swarmed forward with all my stuff just to start covering the centre of the board where John was nearby to 4. The unit of Blade Guard popped into this building to then charge the Terminators that were there. The Eradicators popped out to be a bit closer. The Infiltrators popped out to be a bit closer. The Eradicators picked up the Lord from the double round of shooting, who was sitting by that trench over there. Got 5 damage on. So I got enough damage on the the damage roll. After John failed an invul. And then the Blade Guard just picked up the Terminators because they got something like 7 wounds through. Because I used the stratagem to give them +1 to wound from the Salamander Codex. So that was really, really handy. So you would have seen the score sheet periodically on your screen throughout the whole battle report, but at the end it was an 88-23 on GW points, or in WTC terms, or the terms we're using for Clan Wars upcoming tournament. That will be a 20-0 to me, which is a good score. So yeah, we'll come back to you with a post-game interview with Dom back on his couch, where I can sip the rest of my coffee and happy days. We'll see you there. Well, that was it. Is that that's the end of the game?
Yeah, that was.
Cheers, John.
You're welcome, mate. That's a wee bitty sore one there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like I said at the start, if we had that Primaris factor, might have probably lasted a bit longer there, maybe to turn 5 there. Just to have those extra wins would be nice. But I just see guys be one of the top contenders there with the list. It would be the Salamanders and having all those lovely Primaris units. That's the way to go for now.
T5 3-win units are amazing when they output the volume of fire that they
Indeed.
output.
Hopefully there's some in the new book they do something to balance it out.
I don't know what they would do. I mean, if they drop them to 2 wounds, then that's too much of a nerf.
No,
I know they're taking away the double tap from the aggressors as a current rumour, which would be handy.
Like maybe turn it just from a natural ability into a stratagem or something would make it fairer.
1 CP stratagem.
Well,
if you don't move,
mine's cost 2
to double tap, but you can move.
Uh-huh.
So there's an extra caveat, which means I have to spend 2 CP.
Yeah.
To count as not moving and double tap, and also I can't advance.
That sounds much fairer.
Yeah, but it's just Space Marines have always been a bit overbalanced, and they need to just get it right. It's going to take a while to get it right.
Yeah, and for everybody to catch up and keep up with the power of the Marines themselves. Space
Marines are the trendsetter of the game, definitely, because it's the most popular faction. In that game there, my general plan was to, and how the army works is to make sure the aggressors can control 2 to 3 objectives, which is what they could do by controlling the middle objective and the one in the one closest to the camera most of the time.
Yeah.
The one by the bunker. I could also control my home field one because John couldn't get past me.
I was as you were going first, you were pretty much hemming me in, and I had to react more defensively than I normally would. Whereas if I was to do first, from my side of the board, I would have instead put the Heldricks down my right flank, take on those infiltrator and cursey dudes. And
that will hide behind the craters for the containers.
Hide behind the building, hide behind the containers, maybe then take on the bikes and then go up towards your scouts and just go around. But because you were going first and you put so much pressure on me to begin with, and I knew what was coming, I had to use the Heldricks as a way to try and stop all that damage from those aggressors in. Though I did lose my last cannons turn 1, I did lose the chain cannons next turn. It's still a lot of damage that they soaked up, like from just that one unit. Two together had 24 wounds. You did enough to maybe kill 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, and the thing is with aggressors is they basically project a 16-inch range aura of don't come here or you're gonna die.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. They just project that aura, and if I have to advance, cool, 1 thing will die, or 2 things will die if I can split the squad up. Because I can't use my double tap if I advance. But I can still shoot because they are assault weapons. And I don't care about -1 because they're auto hitting assault weapons, which is even better.
I'm quite surprised by my obliterators because they normally do a lot more.
It was rolling damage 1
Yeah.
for I think every single time. No, you rolled damage 2 once and damage 1 twice.
Yeah.
And it should have been damage 2 or damage 3 on one of the other ones.
Yeah.
Which would have picked up eradicators and aggressors much quicker.
For this, if they were maybe a bit cheaper, I could maybe put in a bit more support for them. But there's 3 guys for 315. that don't have as much output as, say, just 3 aggressors with that many shots. You know?
The thing is that yours also a much higher strength, so you're better against vehicles, but I get around that with my +1 to wood.
Yeah.
I think there is a case of taking out the obliterators, but you do love your obliterators.
I do, but when we do go to play with Forge World stuff, as we were saying earlier on, the list almost is the same. I swap almost the same price. I swap obliterators for Dordeo. He though has roughly less shots. He has a guaranteed range of 36 minimum with strength 8, -1, 2 damage with the Butcher Cannon Ray, which also has a negative buff to leadership for anything it shoots at. Also with what we know for the heavy bolters going up to 2 damage, that makes that even more long range Primaris killers. And I always give mine the Greater Havoc Launcher, so it has a range 68 gun. It can shoot at things out of line of sight. So for example, the scouts.
The scouts are going for 15 points.
Those would have, like, turn 2, turn 3 would have just got rid of those. Well, the butchers and the heavy bolters, when they do go damage to, will happily deal with like eliminators, and will do a lot of damage to the aggressors. Though the aggressors will probably still survive, deal a lot of damage back. It's a lot they're going to do there. The 2 Hellbrutes would then get swapped out for my Hellforce Contemptors. Again, they will have butcher cannons. Just keep that everything at arm's length, just to pump out so much shots.
Yeah. For me, if I was running for one Forge World, which I will be doing after Clan Wars, because that's the next tournaments I'm going to, our Forge World allowed events, I will probably be taking a Relic Whirlwind Scorpius. I've got the turret for it. You can stick it on my regular Whirlwind chassis, and because of that stratagem, is if I do have to move him to get in range, I can count as not moving. I can still double tap it. Obviously, the Forge World book may come up before then. We don't know exactly when it's going to drop, and that could change everything. Because it'd be a whole fresh set of rules for all these models, and I mean, the Whirlwind Scorpius might be so overcosted, or they lose the shoot twice, and you might as well
or
get one
it could be
regular.
you get 1 relic in your army.
Yeah.
That's it. You get 1 relic tank.
Yeah. But I think both of us are running 1 and 1.
Yeah, like because I'm Hellforce, I don't suffer the rule for relic, so my stuff's a little bit more costly compared to the Imperium side. But of course, when you're Imperium, you want stuff like that. You have attacks. Obviously, you must take another unit in that role. I'd love to run 3 Scorpiuses in my army. I would run them as Iron Warriors, but we're still stuck in like the first run of our codex where our stuff does not affect our vehicles, unlike in Marines, where you have that, you can say run his fist and ignore cover all day long. I can't do that in mine. I would love to do it. I have a great idea in my head for it, but it just won't work.
Yeah. The other thing that you can kind of look at doing is running other Forge World units. Like, I know that some have a character Apothecary, which heals GT +1, so he'll always top off an aggressor.
Yep, that's the Salamander one, which is good for you.
Yeah, and I think also he can heal twice or something like that.
I think so, yeah.
His stat block is like this long. It's ridiculously big, and I looked over it when I was looking through the battle scribe to see what Forge World options there were, knowing the change of dangers coming, and going, okay, cool, he does a lot of things. Cool, whatever next.
I'm really sad that 2 of my favourite characters, one for Chaos and one for Imperium, didn't make it through the change.
Yeah.
Lacey Sidon, because he's just cracking gun. He's got a great weapon.
Great ability.
He's got a cracking ability where he'll take 3 non-Primaris units or Terminators or jump back units or all these pretty heavy bulky units into deep strike with him, and then they can appear later on down the line.
Well, the best thing is just put in 15 sniper scouts or 20 sniper scouts.
Yeah.
And then they pop up into the line sight of all the characters. Shoot, ignoring the -1 to hit characters.
When I was doing it as casual games, I would have 3 units of Stern Guard pop up on a flank in one big death ball and just go, right, this is 10, 20, 20, 40, like 30 shots. So 60 shots at half range at -2. One of the units can get +1 to win because there is a Stern Guard stratagem for that. With reroll all missed hits.
Yeah.
Just go, and that would delete a unit.
Yeah.
Then for the Chaos side, there is Lord Arkaros for my Alpha Legion. cracker of a character there.
Yeah.
He, though unlike other characters, he doesn't support his army himself, though he does give +1 advance and charge rolls for anybody who's alike to him. I would normally use him as a character who would just go off on his own, because he's a great little sniper character, little, nip into a wee gap or hide behind terrain and then slip in and kill off a unit. Because his weapon gets +1 wins damage 3. He's got Combi Melta. He's got a native -1 hit along his Off Legion. He's 5 in fun, and the most important part is that you can deploy him. So, for example, if I was to deploy first, I could deploy him outside of your deployment zone, and it has to be 12 inches away from enemy models. But because it's the first model, I can say I'm just outside your line.
Yeah.
And then if it used to be you guaranteed turn 1, great, cool, but now you'd be a bit more cagey with them putting in out of obscure terrain or somewhere that is harder for the opponent to come to. Also, if you're like me, you like a bit of summoning, you can also use them as a summoning node and bring in like a bloodletter unit or something, or if you're lucky enough, a character.
A great big bloodthirster.
Yeah. Or like maybe if you just want a cap an objective that's just near him, put Nurglings near him.
Yeah. There's a lot of tricks, and opening up a fortress, and I know other countries, I know like England and America, they love their fortress over there. But it's only because of this WTC change to the current rule set for WTC that they're allowing fortress world. Now that the circuit's a bit more established, incomes have slightly increased across the board, and they're allowing more expensive models.
Forge World just opens the community up as well, because some armies function better with their Forge World. Like
Custodes. Yeah.
Custodes love their transports, they love their big tanks, they love having their dreadnoughts.
Custodes don't operate when you limit them to the codex that the GW make. They do need their forge
It
road.
adds more diversity as well, for models and rules. And, you see stuff you would never normally see.
So long as it's balanced out, because there are some disgustingly overpowered models out there from Forge Road, like the Scorpius, like the Leviathan Dreadnought. It's usually frustrating if you look at it.
Yeah.
And then some great models like I can't remember the name of it, but the Dark Eldar boat. Tank Hunter one.
The Reaper.
The Reaper. Seen a lot of Reapers being used by Scary.
I myself would happily use my Decimators, my Hellblades. I have so much Forge World in my cabinet there that I also, when I play Forge World in my Space Marine side of armies, I bring my Punisher tank with me. I've got a Relic Punisher Sakaran. It is nearly 20 shots of heavy bowlers.
Yeah.
And it can sit there, and when it's the big turret, it rerolls once to hit.
Yeah. So we'll wrap it up there.
That should be happy there.
Yeah, we've chatted for long enough. John, do you have any shout-outs to do?
Right guys, so as you know, we're up here in Dundee, so we have the Dundee Wardy Games Club. If you're ever up here, give us a shout and we'll happily include you in a games night. Right now though, with coronavirus we're doing reduced club size.
Yeah.
So it is literally, if you're a member, you get your you get to have your table first, and then any walk-ins can have that afterward. That there. Also for the channel itself, Overcharged Plasma Wargaming, and for a few of our Team Scotland guys, we're happy to see is Clan Wars there.
Yeah. I will say that the channel Overcharged Plasma Gaming, we don't believe in war, will be running tournaments from now on, and we're going to be chatting to home games to maybe run some RTT style tournaments, maybe once a month, partnering up with Innes of Team Scotland to do that. Basically, two of us are going to drive down there once a month and run a tournament for everyone. We got our tournament in January, our grand tournament. Yep. We have we have 44 tickets, with 14 of those being on the waiting list, claimed.
Most of them are our guys already.
Most of them are the Dundee guys. The rest are just across Scotland. If you're in the north of England, or like anywhere north of Manchester,
come on, Newcastle guys, come on up.
Yeah, we will hopefully have more than 30 tickets to sell by that point.
Yeah, hopefully restrictions have been lifted enough that we can have even more players inside. Be really good to have.
Big thank you to Nordic Customs Designs for doing the markers for us. Hopefully they look good in the camera. They look amazing in person. Go and check it out in the link down below to see if you can get some custom markers made up for yourselves, some dice bags, some t-shirts, any embroidery or or printing that you want, they can help out with.
If you want a cup or two, or they don't just do that, they also do things like cups.
Yeah.
They do the yourself hoodies and everything. Like, they can do it all for you.
They're looking at doing dice trays, which is very important in this COVID-rich environment.
Yeah, because you want to keep your dice separate.
Yeah. Thank you. Also, something I've got to mention. All the training at the table, apart from the GW stuff, was done by War Games Tournaments, who given me a bit of a discount on the train. So thank you to them.
I've bought from them before, and it was enough to cover 2 6x4s.
Yeah.
For all about 60, 70 quid.
It's easy to. It's the cheapest train I've seen.
Yeah.
Out there.
It's laser cut MDF, bit of wood glue, you're done, or PVA.
Yeah. I just use super glue because
Yeah.
I use for my minis, and then I'll eventually get everything painted up once I painted up my army first.
I've had my stuff for over 5 years and I've not painted it.
It looks good without anything because he does like little designs and the laser cutting does a nice burn effect as well.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So thank you for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe if you like this format, if you like this coffee chat. Maybe comment below on what John could have done differently. Like, comment down your opinions on John's Alpha play.
Ennis, shut.
Yeah, Ennis, hold your tongue. Hold it. Don't rewrite John's list.
This is just for giggles. We'll see you after the tournament.
Yeah, and we'll catch everyone who will be at the tournament. And if not, we'll see you around. So, cheers.
Catch you guys.